What's up, Roulette Fools? Brent with AOB. Okay, already our 10th session together. And I'm so stoked to hear so many of you guys following along. Okay, here we go. We're going to do our roulette analysis tool on our website, AllonBlack.net. We're going to do a strategy today from our very own David, Scouse House. And appropriately, I renamed it to Scouser. I used to call it Hot Mess, but he didn't like that. So here's Scouser. Let me show you how it goes here. We're going to select 10-cent units. We're going to put 2 units on the 0-2 split. We're going to put 2 units on the 10th street. The 19th street gets 2 units and the 28th street gets 2 units. Then we're going to put 3 units on the 31-35 corner. The 23-27 corner gets 3 streets. The 13-17 corner gets 3 streets. And the 5-9 get 3 streets. Okay, now here's the deal. You don't have to leave them on these corners, right? I could totally move this down here and it would be the exact same strategy. So you put them where you want. You can move them along as long as you have the same configuration as far as not overlapping streets and whatever. But feel free to customize these. You can see the pay table out up here. And basically, we want to hit the corners. Okay, the corners pay 7 units. You can see in this case, 10 cents, we're getting 70 cents back. The street here, these 3 streets pay 4 units, and we got the banger on the 0-2. You can see these pay 16 units. So if you're a 0 hero, you're going to like this strategy again. David always likes covering the 0, and I like that about him. And he's got a nice blend of bangers and, you know, decently paying numbers. So let's give this a go. Also in the chat, let me know if you guys like this. I want to be able to build these bets for you guys if this is your first time, so you can see the pay tables and whatnot. All right, let's get gambling. Okay, here we go. Let's get started, but let's just take a real brief look at our spreadsheet real quick. So you can see we left off at $149.46 after our last one. I'm leaving the 5% gold channel here for you guys, the column here, just in case you want to continue on with percentages and we can just kind of see what 5% looks like. I'm doing the tier step, right? So I was initially doing 5. I upgraded it to 7. And some of you asked, how do you determine that? It's pretty easy. You can take your 5%, and when it gets near the next jump of a whole dollar, that's usually what I do, then I'll go to the next dollar. So you can go 5, then 6, then 7, whatever you're comfortable with. But as one of my other mates wrote in from North Ireland, welcome, brother, going to leave it flat for quite a while and then incrementally. Nothing wrong with that. You can leave it at a daily of 5. Nothing says you have to continue going at 5%. Nothing wrong with it at all. All right, let's get started. Let's get that out of the way and get going. I have the bet saved here. Remember, we're doing Scouser from David Scouse House here, giving him a shout out. Let's get our graph going up here. All right, let's go. And I think I need to fix this a little bit. It's a little bit wonky. All right, there we go. I'm gonna pull this down. It looks like we lost. Now, it's just a simple Martingale strategy. So we're just gonna double our bet. And meanwhile, I'm trying to get this fixed for you guys so you guys can see the win-loss, profit wins. There we go. All right, I'm using I'm on a different casino today. So the layouts are slightly different on the different casinos. So we're going to double it up. And right now, remember, we're hoping for the corner hits, okay? Because those pay 7 units, but a win is a win, okay? Now, the one downside to some of these that is a little bit frustrating when you have a hit that's 7 and a hit that's 4 is that, like right now, it can be frustrating if you lose a couple and you're trying to recover and you keep hitting the streets, which only pay 4 units instead of 7. Okay. So take it for what it will. I'm only showing you guys these right now so that you can make up your mind. I've said it before. I'll say it again. And someone posted in the video maybe 2 days ago was like, oh, you're just getting lucky and you're just throwing your whole bankroll out and you got all these strategies and blah, 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 blah. And the reality is I've said it and I'll repeat it again. You don't need a ton of strategies. Okay. You don't need a ton of strategies to win. Hell, you can just do 1 or 2 strategies. Literally, you could have 2 strategies. You could have 1 and be very successful if you're very good at it, you know, and you don't even have to be good at it. I mean, the strategy is a strategy, but what I mean by that is if you time box your play, if you know when to walk away, That one strategy, nothing wrong with it. Every single strategy you play will have crappy days. That's just how it goes. You'll have crappy days. I've had days where I literally cannot win. I move tables, I switch strategies, I do it all, and I just can't win. Those are the days that when you start recognizing that that's how it's going, you just walk away, you hang up your boots. Come back another day. Come back 5 hours later. Give it another go. If it continues that way, just hang it up. And I wish, listen to your gut, okay? That little voice inside, it's right a lot of times. And if you get on a table and for whatever reason, you get a hanky feeling like, man, I don't know, this dealer or the numbers, and just go to a different table. There's plenty of tables, or just leave, come back at another time. You don't have to force this a square peg in a round hole, right? You have the option of coming back. Right now, we're doing really well. Look at those corners. We've hit a couple in a row. It's exactly what we want to do. So our daily target today for me is $7, okay? So again, and I'm just going to keep saying it in case you're brand new to this and you're just starting and you're going to jump on this with us. I'm only recording, generally speaking, one session a day. So I am going to try to be a little more aggressive periodically, but for the most part, I'm not going to worry. But because I'm only playing one, I'm going to start falling behind the daily target. Okay, there's a loss. So we're going to double it up. I'm going to start falling behind the daily target because in general, I'm only playing, and we're going to double our bet. I'm only playing one session a day. You guys are playing 3, 5, 7. You can play 10 or 20, whatever you're comfortable. So you can literally come down, place 1 or 2 bets, win, walk. I did that. If you go back several videos, it was on a bigger scale, right? Because I was betting in general about $5,000 per spin, but I was coming down. I was betting anywhere between 1 and 3 spins, getting that, walking away, coming back. I did 16 sessions in that day. Oh my goodness. And it was very, very successful. Now, this strategy is a love-hate relationship with me because I have done very well with it. And this one also has really busted my chops. So I'm going to hope that this thing is good to us because there's a saying, at least they have it, Scousers can't be knocked out. At least that's what they say in the UFC with the Scousers over there. And if you're a Paddy Pimblett fan, I am not. That's what they say. Scousers can't be knocked out. So let's hope that this Scouser can't be knocked out and we're not going to lose our bankroll on. Come on, give us that 0. Oh, that 0 would have been a banger hit. 0 and 2's a banger hit would have been a beautiful recovery for us right there. So let's go. So I love the comments. I love those of you that are saying you're following along, you're playing disciplined. And like I said, most of you are getting it. In fact, almost all of you, except for maybe 1 or 2, are getting this exactly right. Sure, I may go degen. That is the entertainment side of things. That's the side of things that I'm just doing. This right here is the way you should be playing. Not necessarily this strategy, but low and slow. Come on. See, now this is the part that's frustrating, right? Because we're hitting streets and it's keeping our progression higher. Now, this is basically 27 numbers. This is 9 streets, okay? So if we were playing 9 streets with this, 9 streets pays equally amongst all 27 numbers. You don't get these 0-2 bangers. You don't get some numbers that are paying a little bit more and others that are paying considerably less. So, but I do like the idea of this. I do like the layout. It's a fun strategy, but try it. Oh my gosh, there's a corner for us finally. And we're about 7 minutes into it. So we're about halfway, but we're doing okay. All right. So again, just stay the course. If you're just joining us, we started out with $100. Everybody did. Some of you said, 1 or 2 of you said that you started out with a bigger bankroll, like $400. Nothing wrong with that. Bigger bankroll, better. My suggestion to you, if you're just starting, and let's say you have a $400, $500, $800, $1,000 bankroll, cut that bankroll up into 4 pieces, 25% each. Put away 3/4 of that. And let's just say you have $1,000. Take $250 of playable balance and base your thing off of that and see what you can do. See what your success is if you follow this plan and see what's working for you. If you happen to bust on it, guess what? You have $750 still left for you. So that's if you're fairly new or you want to be really conservative. If you are, okay, another street hit. if you are comfortable and you know what you're doing, feel free to use your whole bankroll and go off of that. There's nothing wrong with that because you have $1,000 bankroll. 10% is going to be $100 a day, right? 5% is $50 a day. 3%, you can do the math. So that bigger bankroll is nice. And if you lower your target percentage rate, even better because you're spending less time here. And that's what we're going to do here. As we start building and our bankroll starts getting bigger, obviously our profit's going to start getting bigger. We don't necessarily have to jump all the way and keep it at 5%. You don't have to. If you're like, hey, now that we get up to $500 a day, or our bankroll's $500, we don't have to do 5%, right? We don't have to go that high. You could leave it at flat rates because you can be saying, hey, I'm making $10 a day and I'm perfectly happy with that. It's going to be slower, but I guarantee your profit is going to be more consistent and your down days are going to be far little and your chance of busting are going to be even more diminished, in my opinion. Okay. Now, some people say, yeah, but if you lower your amount, it means you're playing longer, but you don't have to play longer. That's only if two people are playing and we both want to make $100 and you're betting with 10 cents and they're betting with $10. They're going to argue, yeah, but at 10 cents, you're going to bet a lot longer, which means you have more chances for losses. I don't really look at it that way when you're considering a much bigger bet versus a much smaller bet with the same bankroll. And if I were to go to extremes, I could say if I had a $100,000 bankroll and I'm betting 1 penny, what do you guys think the chances are that I'll bust? I mean, it's going to be pretty low, right? I mean, almost, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Statistically, could it happen? Sure. Anything can happen. But if I have a 1 penny, so I'm just trying to show you that the longer you're willing to play, the less profit you're willing to make at a time and be more careful, you're going to be far more successful in the long run because you're not going to have to play catch up. Again, ask me how I know, because I'm playing catch up all the time with my entire bankroll when I'm live streaming and stuff. But again, that's for entertainment. This is the real deal. Oh, there we go. There's a banger hit. Look at that. Booyah. Look at that. We're at $5 and, well, it's over there for you guys. We're at $5.10 up here. Very, very nice, David. So sometimes if you go back and look at a bunch of my older videos, if they happen to be one of David's, and I'll be cursing because we're getting our booty kicked, and then it'll hit a big banger and I'll be like, David's the greatest thing since sliced bread. So that's how it goes. But after this strategy, I'll be going back and primarily playing the ones that I like, and I'll introduce some new ones periodically. But I've given you kind of the lay of the land of the most common strategies. And those are right. The outside 1-to-1 bets, playing dozens. I don't like playing an individual dozen, but you can if you want to go on an individual dozen and play, say, the Fibonacci sequence. And maybe we will do that at some point. But 2 dozens or 2 columns, we have 9 streets, 5 double streets. Okay. Those in general are, to me, what my go-to strats are for the most part. And of those, 5 double streets is going to be my most common one, the one I use the most. So figure out what works for you, because I guarantee you'll meet people and you yourself will be one of those people that say, oh man, and you'll swear by a strategy. No, this strategy is what is my daily driver and it's been the most consistent. And you'll tell somebody else that and they'll be like, oh man, I get wiped out on that every single time. So it just depends. The other issue that I want to warn you about that I see with players all the time when they say, oh, that strategy sucks. It's because they didn't have the proper progressions, right? They didn't have the proper progressions. And what happened is they start playing with a unit size and a total base bet size that's far too big. And they get 3 or 4 losses in a row and they have to pull the plug because they don't have very far, and they're like, oh, I'm not willing to bet that much. It's because they got too far. Again, ask me how I know, because I play that way sometimes. I'm willing to risk for a higher bet, but then you get 3, 4 losses in a row, and you're like, you can't play that way if you want to be successful. And that, to me, is one of the biggest reasons why people who play certain strats go, oh, this sucks, or this is no good, because they start going along, and inevitably, when you play this, You will have sessions where you're losing 3, 4, 5 in a row. That's why I say get into our Discord, download in our spreadsheet channel, the chart play graph that I showed you at the beginning that shows you, okay, here's my bankroll. Here's the common strategies that I want to use. Here's my unit size. Here's the minimum number of progressions. That will get you there. But that's what I see all the time. And it happens to me, it happens to everybody. You get into the third progression even, you're like, oh my gosh, this is so expensive. I don't have, I'm almost out. This sucks. I'm pulling the plug. Third progression, there's not a lot of strategies that I can think of that you go 3 progressions is plenty, right? I mean, you could say, okay, I'm going to cover 35 numbers or something. So 3 progressions could do it. The problem with that is your recovery. You have to bet huge just to make up 1 loss. So even then 3 progressions isn't there. So just progressions are life. You guys know that. I won't harp on. No, I take that back. I am going to harp on that every single session. Make sure you're playing within your progressions. We're at 14 minutes. We're at $9, gang. We're at $9. Now, I'm going to keep going because we're only been doing this for 14 minutes. I'm going to keep going. But again, if you're doing great like this, feel free to go. But like I told you the previous time, have a plan. If you plan on playing beyond the 15 minutes or beyond your target goal, have a plan. And in this case, instead of a $2 base bet, maybe I bring it down to a 50-cent base bet, if you can do it. Right now on stake.com, they have penny bets available. So go down if you want to keep playing, but have a plan. Or like this one, oftentimes what I'll say is, okay, I'll play, but if I lose once, I'm done because I'm still at $7 right here, right? And in this case, I would say, okay, I'm pulling the plug. I got my $7. It's not as great as 9, but I'm still at my daily 5% target or my flat rate target, whichever one you're doing. Walk away. Make that promise to yourself and make yourself promise. My team knows that unless I say I promise, it means maybe, maybe not. If they say, oh, there we go. That's what we wanted. Look at that. We got another banger. Boom. We're at 10:20. All right. Let's go in for one more. You know what? We're not even going to do that. We're going to call it because we're up $10.20, which is really nicely. I'll fill out the spreadsheet. I'll overlay the spreadsheet on this video so that we don't have to waste time doing that. Anyway, stick with it. You guys got this. You can see if you follow the plan in general, you're going to have far more winning days that'll make up for those losses. If you stay with the plan and the progression schedule, you'll have far more winning days than lost days, is what I predict, is what happens to me. Don't listen to the naysayers. If people in the comment section want to comment, go, it can't be done. Don't listen to them, because when I did my 100K challenge, do you know how many people came in and said, you can't beat the casino. You won't be able to get to 100,000. For month after month, they said that. And then as I started getting closer and closer, those comments started dropping off. And you know what? I actually had 2 people that were big time naysayers at the end. They were good enough to DM me and say, you know what? I didn't think it could be done. I was really hard on you. And they said, my apologies. I'm a believer. And I'm not talking for me. That shows a lot of character on their part. So if you were one of those 2 people, mad respect for you. Total mad respect, because I've been wrong. We all been wrong, so own up to it. All right, that's it for today. Let me know in the comments. I love seeing how you're doing. So let me know in the comments how you're doing on your challenge and where you are at this time with your bankroll. I freaking love it. And the more people that read your successes or even your failures and how you overcome it, it's super encouraging for the entire community. All right, that's it for today. Be good humans. Put in the comments if you want to see something in particular or you have any questions. I'm doing my very best to answer each and every one of you. All right, until next time, remember, us against the casino, all of us against the casino. Cheers.